size reduction actually varies. The mechanism or the method by which size reduction can happen varies with the nature of material. Say every material cannot be size reduced in the same way or the same method, or they are not size reduced by the same mechanism. Each drug may be having different treatments in place for size reducing them. So a general mechanism is shown here. Every particle that we observe will be having certain flows on their surface. Okay, there are certain cracks and flows on the surface, and as a force like impact, a hitting happens, these cracks will actually develop into bigger cracks. They run across the particle, and further receiving additional impact, they just split into smaller particles, and thus the size reduction occur. Another way of size reduction is like by attrition. Here you can see the particles which are very hard are undergoing attrition, and the sides, the irregular sides of the particles are shedding away, forming smaller particles. So these are the two mechanisms or representations of size reduction. Let's see what are the modes of size reduction or the modes of stress applied for size reduction. In general, there are 4 modes that can be applied for size reducing a material, and these modes can be achieved by different machines. So which are they, the modes of size reduction? The size reduction can be by any of these 4 mechanisms. One is cutting, second is compression, third impact, and fourth one is attrition. Cutting is nothing but, as we all know, it is cutting by a sharp knife or a blade. The material will be cut into different pieces, small pieces, by a sharp object. So this is useful for fibrous materials as well as waxy solids. For if we take the example of crude drugs like ginger, dry ginger, which are very fibrous in nature, you cannot size reduce them by any other mechanism other than cutting. And again, waxy materials also cannot be size reduced by heating or other means. They should be cut into pieces. So there is an example, that is cutter mill, which works on the principle of cutting. Another important mechanism is compression. Compression stands for crushing the objects, crushing the materials within big rollers or any other heavy weights. So generally we have something called as a roller mill, which is used for crushing and compression of materials. Yeah, let us look into the third mechanism, that is impact. Impact is achieved by hitting with hammers or metal bars in order to break the objects. This hammers or hitting mechanism or the impact will work only for objects which are brittle. So a high speed striking can actually break the particles apart and make result in smaller particles, and the example is hammer mill. Usually in our day-to-day life we see mills such as flour mills, they are generally hammer mills. Attrition. What is attrition? It is about the material size reduction by rubbing them in between rough surfaces. So the material will be put into in between 2 surfaces which are rough in nature, and these surfaces will be rubbed together so that the particles in between will get shredded, and they will get into smaller or fine particles. This is necessary for fine grinding. So if we require very small particles, ultra small size particles, the best method is attrition, which can cause extensive size reduction.